I'm gonna die on this hill, aren't I? What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, the Waffle Man, and today I'm talking about Mikel Arteta, the boss of Arsenal, my beloved team in world football. Before we get into the video, I would just like to say, even if you disagree with my opinion, it is kind of a hot take, but if you liked listening to my perspective, please hit the like button. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. So, the reason I'm making this video is because Arsenal are in some terrible form, and Mikel Arteta, the manager of the club, is getting a lot of stick right now, and I just wanted to give my perspective on why I'm Arteta in. I don't want him to go, even though our team is in like the worst position we've ever been in. You know, a lot of people are very quick to put blame on the manager, and I do think he is at fault for some of our losses this season. I wouldn't say that he has no flaws. Like he is excused from all criticisms at all. But I think that the notion that he has to go because this team is playing so bad is inaccurate in my opinion. But I just wanted to give my perspective on why he shouldn't be sacked and why he should continue being the Arsenal manager, even though we're in some tough times right now. Now, the first thing I would like to do is just look at what the people are saying in the media, rival fans, our fans are saying about the criticisms they have about Arteta, because I think they do make some really good points, and I just want to put my perspective on why it's hard to fix the problems which they bring up. So the main thing I see people say about Arteta is that um, he builds his game plan around crosses a lot. We basically only crosses is what people say, and which is a very valid point. And they are doing maybe too many crosses at the moment. But in Arteta's defense, most of the technical players on the team are wide players, so it isn't unnatural for most of the attacking threats to come from crosses. I think that in the central area, the movement on the ball, off the ball, I mean, isn't really that great. So you don't really see chances created in that way. The only person who I've really seen try something different or like get into those pockets of space is Saka, and I think when he does it, he does really well to get space and maybe get a shot off or whatever. But he's only one player, you know. Uh, one thing that I remember that I liked a lot about Partey when he first came into the team is he would make those line breaking passes through the center so much when we had the ball. And you don't really see the players like Xhaka and Ceballos just like pass the ball to the striker's feet, and then Saka runs off it. It was some really good play. I really liked that from him. That was like one of the key things I noticed. You could see that when he's not in the team, those passes don't get made, and that really has hurt our overall creativeness. To just do something different. I think Arteta knows this is a problem, and hopefully he changes that. I don't know what his plan is. I know he's really been looking for a creative center mid in transfer windows, so maybe that's his solution. I've yet to see what that will be, but who knows? That is probably his biggest flaw at the moment, tactically. Another thing that a lot of Arsenal fans especially say is that he's not rotating the team a lot, and I would say that he was kind of he was trying some different things. Uh, First off, he started Willock 2 weeks in a row in the Prem, which is like crazy to me. I don't think Willock should be starting in the Prem, but that's just my opinion. I don't see what goes on behind the scenes. And Willock did not play well, but he tried it. You can't say he didn't try something different. Like, it makes sense that he'd want an attack-minded player in midfield because he really doesn't have that at the moment, other than Willock, because Smith Rowe was hurt. They also say, why isn't he playing Pepe? He did play Pepe against Leeds, and he got sent off for headbutting someone. You know, if you really go and look at the bench versus Burnley, the players we have available are not great. Let's be honest. But there's only like two players you could say could be starting. Not even should. They're not even guarantees. Like it's Ceballos for maybe Xhaka or Elneny, or Maitland-Niles for Bellerin, or maybe put him in midfield. I like him personally a lot in midfield, but I don't know Arteta's plans there. Um, the only thing I have to say about Maitland-Niles is that now that we switched to a 4, I really don't like him as a fullback, and I don't think he enjoys playing there. So you're not going to get the best out of him in that position. I would love to see him in midfield. He tried that in the Europa League, and hopefully he does it in the future because he played really well there. And I think that's another thing that he could try. I'd rather him there than Joe Willock in the league. So I really want that to happen. He is trying things in the Europa League. Maybe testing stuff out. Like he tested out Laka at the 10 in Europa League twice before he started in the Prem, and it didn't really work in the Prem. But it worked in Europa League, so I can't really say if Maitland-Niles will work in the Prem, even though it worked in the Europa League. You know what I mean? So it is a tough situation, but I think Maitland-Niles should be starting. I don't know if you go back to a 3 to start him. I don't know how you fit him into this team, but I think he's definitely talented enough to start. And players like Elneny, who played really good against Manchester United, but ultimately just lacks talent, could have saw the bench. Even if Arteta starts Ceballos over Elneny and Maitland-Niles over Bellerin, that doesn't change the fact that Xhaka loses his head and gets a red card. Like, Mikel Arteta can't control that. And Burnley was such a swing game that we needed so badly for our confidence to win. It was such an important game that no one, that what Xhaka did is so unacceptable. And I hope, I hope he never plays again for us, because even though at his best, he's up there with some of the best center mids in the league, but if he's only going to play for his best for the 3-month period in the summer where we were a really good team, if he's only going to play that, that's just not enough for me. You got to show up every week. You can't choose which periods you're going to be good in. And my third and final criticism that I found about Arteta is the fact that he has exiled players from the squad, the main 3 being Ozil, Guendouzi, and Saliba. And I find this a weird thing because with Ozil, we don't really know why he was exiled. There's a lot of rumors that the board told him not to play because of his comments said about politics and etc. I don't really know too much about that. But when we were playing with Ozil, we weren't really getting the results either, even though, he was working hard for us and he was playing decent, but the results still were bad even when we were with him. And in a tough time like this where you really need someone to show up, Ozil really isn't that guy. He's not that guy that lifts the team up like Alexis Sanchez did. He's someone who, when the team's doing well, he is accelerated in his performances. If everyone around him is playing well, he will be the best player on the pitch. But if everyone around him is playing bad, he'll be the worst player on the pitch. He's kind of like that. So I don't know if that will exactly help him. In a tactical sense, he's the perfect thing we need on paper. But in practice, we don't even know if that's going to work. For Guendouzi, Guendouzi said certain things about his wage, and Mikel didn't like his how big his ego was, even though you have to be humble as a footballer is basically what he said. And he gave Guendouzi a chance to apologize, and he basically said, I'm not going to apologize. I don't have anything to apologize for. And that's why he's on loan right now. Guendouzi's Arsenal future is probably over, but you never know. So maybe Guendouzi comes back, learns a thing or two in Germany, and becomes a better player because of it. But we don't know. And for Saliba, as much as I personally think Saliba should definitely at least be in our Europa League squad. It's ridiculous he's not even in our Europa League squad. I think that it's ridiculous what's happening to him, but even though, he has had some personal problems, but, I don't know too much about that because I'm not inside the club, but even if Saliba was starting in that game, I don't think it changes much because the defense was never the problem. The defense was never the problem. We're struggling to score goals, and that's where we need help the most. So even though I disagree with what Arteta's done with Saliba so far, it wouldn't help us that much, you know. Overall, I think like in general, the criticisms Arteta is getting is valid. It's super valid. They make a lot of good points, but I don't think like there are so many points where a player misses a sitter or gets sent off where it's just like that tiny thing could just change so much and it could make us it could flatter us even so I don't think Arteta's doing a great job. I don't even know if I would say he's doing a good job. He's doing an okay job is probably how I would describe it. He's definitely at fault for some of our losses this season. I think so many people, uh, like they bring the problems to the table, and they're gonna be like, oh, he should be doing, he shouldn't be doing this, he shouldn't be doing that, he shouldn't be doing this. But the solutions to these problems are like so undefined at the moment, and it's like such a hard thing to like risk playing a youth player in a game and just hoping it works. Like that's my like main gripe with a lot of the criticisms is like he has to do some like risky stuff. I feel like people are more inclined to see what the problems are and not provide a solution, which is my main gripe against like Arteta out people. Like they know that the team's not playing bad, but they also don't know how to make it better, in a sense. I'm just gonna say, in the end, it's gonna be a long year. It's gonna suck. Okay, even though I got very hopeful, and I'm a very hopeful guy. I don't know why I always get my hopes up at the beginning of the season, but I'm very hopeful, and it's just like it it does suck. It does suck that we are in 16th at the moment. It does suck. I'm not going to say it doesn't suck because it sucks. It hurts my heart every time we play. But in the long term, if we can get out of this mess that we are in right now, in the long term, Arteta is the best choice for the job. And I 100% agree with that. Um, Edu, our technical director, has backed him in public. Pep Guardiola has also backed him in public. Klopp has rated our defense so well when we've played against him. Like, there's just so many reasons why, you know, he's the right man for the job. And just because the results aren't you do need results, and eventually he's going to be in a spot where he's probably going to get sacked, and it's gonna, if he can just get out of this, it's gonna be so good in the long term. I know it, and I fully trust him to get us out of this. Once he has his own team that isn't Emery, that isn't Wenger, that he can use to express himself tactically, I think we're going to see very good things. But it's just a matter of whether or not he can get there. And he's in a very tough position right now. I don't think anyone in the world in world football would want to be in this position that he's in right now, because it's such a tough position where you don't really your more experienced players aren't really motivated to get the win that badly, and your youth players aren't really good enough or experienced enough to do it. So he's in a tough patch. He might not get out of it. He probably will get sacked, but I think if he had the time to get a team to express himself the way he wants to do, he would be the perfect manager for our club. And that's why I'm Arteta in, because I still have hope that he can turn this around. It's not over till it's over, okay? And yes, he has been bad. He's been bad. He's been bad this season, but he will turn it around because I've seen it before. We were not great when he first came here. His goal was to just make us defensively good, and then we kind of dropped off in form. We were like draw FC. We were undefeated. We lost to Olympiacos, and then quarantine happened, and then the team started expressing themselves in new ways. And I know that's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen again because he cares so much. He cares so much, and he has such a great tactical brain that he's learned from his years of experience as a player and, as an assistant manager at Manchester City. He's such a he's got such a beautiful mind. So yeah, that is why I'm Arteta in. It's kind of a jumble. It's kind of a waffle, but like some of the things I have to say, like, don't have tangible evidence for why I think this, but it's just something I feel in my guts, and I don't really trust my gut a lot, but something about this was just so different that I have to stick by it. And yeah, so let me know what you think down below. Call me an idiot. Tell me everything that I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm probably a fucking idiot. I know, I know that, but let me know. Let me know why. All right, peace out.